headphones on. Shit.
What up with it?
Hey. I like this fun little let's put some sunglasses
Why
on
not?
and be a
I found my
little
purple.
silly.
Right, I found my purple sunglasses. I was like, I think I'm gonna wear them.
So my
Why not?
sunglasses, I have one of those like chains that holds them around, like an old grandma lady.
Oh
That,
God!
like, oh yes, and they're dangly gold with like little jewels on them. So I'm super extra fancy about it.
My
And
theory,
go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, my theory on those glasses is just old ladies falling asleep, so they don't have to. They don't have to pick like in something about Mary, the crippled guy that keeps dropping his wallet. Like that's
Yeah,
how
no,
the sunglasses.
if they fall down, they just chilling. I can take them down and leave them, and I don't have to set them down and lose them. They're
Right.
just right there on my necklace. It's great. And I feel like it's also got a very like coffee talk kind of vibe, right?
Yeah.
Do you think a little bit?
Yeah, you're a gray hair wig away from being an 80-year-old woman.
Fuck yeah! Am I not? I
Yeah.
love it. Give me I'm not drinking tea though. I am so excited that I have a liquid death.
I have a liquid death too. I have never tried it though.
What? Go get that shit out, bro.
I have the lime. Okay, I'll go get it. I have the
Go get
lime
that
one.
shit out, bro. Let's do
I'll
this.
be right back. Be right back. All right, so I bought this one.
Ooh, what's that? Severed lime. Okay, they have some.
Severed
Okay,
lime.
first of all, let's just real quick side note.
Oh yeah.
I'm Haleigh,
I'm Jonny.
and this is Jonny Haleigh Day of Fun. You.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty groovy about us tonight. I'm digging these sunglasses. So first of all, okay, two things that I want to go over. So just remind me in a hot second that there was two things.
Okay. Two things.
We're going to talk about liquid death and how, okay, I'm doing this thing lately, like speak what you want into the universe. So we're going to speak into the universe that liquid death becomes an official sponsor of Jonny Haleigh Day of Fun podcast. Cheers.
Cheers
to that.
And this was my first time ever having it, so.
Oh, I love them.
So, all right.
They're so good. I love the names.
Yeah, I can dig that.
So I have just a regular sparkling water, and they have plain water, but like I was looking at some of them that they had at like the gas station, like the fancy new Quick Star that opened down the road.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but they had one that was like convicted melon. It's like a melon flavored one.
See, I'm gonna be honest with you. If this didn't have the lime flavor, like I don't think I'd be a fan of that one.
The plain one?
I think the lime flavor does it.
I don't like lime fizzy waters.
And I like it because it's not that carbonated. It is, but it isn't.
It is. I usually like really hard bubbles, but like I do like that this is like not. I love that we're just giving a review of this. This is in anticipation.
I've never had it before, so why not?
I know this is. We anticipate them becoming a sponsor. Thank you very much. No, I dig it a lot. They do. Why should we not be one of them, universe? I see no reason. Let's just go ahead and manifest that. 100%. We'll start doing it on video.
Right. I'm not gonna lie.
Join our Patreon so that we can quit our jobs and hang out with y'all on a regular basis.
True that. I'm not gonna lie. I'll try all of them, but I think this one is probably gonna be my favorite, just because I love lime.
I can't remember the other one I saw. This is a thing that happens with my memory, where like
I'm gonna be honest though, the melon one sounds good.
No, yeah, for real. And then they had another one that was like berry something. I can't remember. Berry. My brain does this weird thing sometimes where it like purposely takes out the bit of information of my memory that I want to get. Where, do you know what I'm saying? Where I like in my mind, I can see there's like, I'm looking at the shelf and I can see the berry flavor one, the melon flavor one, and the one that I said to myself, that one I would like to try the most. But my brain will not remember that one over here that I wanted to try the most. Is that the dumbest thing?
when you think about it, you turn into Mitch McConnell shitting his pants during an interview, just like, oh my God.
Dude, there's some, man, let me tell you, if that's not a sign that you gotta quit the job, man, I don't know what is.
Yeah. I
Does
mean, I
that
don't want to
say
get
so much? I know I don't want to get
it's
into
so
politics
crazy.
or whatever, but like,
Don't get me wrong, Biden's a fucking kook too.
no,
But you
but
know,
okay, but just in general, like what I'm saying,
yeah,
like no party,
yeah,
whatever, but like we got way too old of people running all our
right,
shit. Like,
right.
not, I'm not trying to not show love to our elders and stuff. Okay.
But Mitch McConnell, you're
But
a
for
fucking
real, bro,
dinosaur, dude. Go
like
retire.
get some new blood up into the
Yeah,
government.
yeah,
It's kind of hard though, because I don't, young people, we don't want to do it, do we?
yeah. Right. Well, hopefully, Christy, hopefully
Yeah,
Christy's listening.
like really though. But
Yeah.
anyway, okay,
But
no,
enough
there
about
was another
politics.
thing. There was another thing.
Two
Oh,
things. Yep.
bugger. I was okay. Shit. Now I can't remember what it was. I knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I wanted to. Well, anyway, I will.
The first one was the liquid death,
The
correct?
first one was the liquid death.
Did you
Oh,
have another thing you wanted
it
to show
was
me?
just no. I wanted to. Okay, before we get into spooky time, spooky season, but like because spooky season also involves like elements of silly, right?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
I want to try to. We're gonna try to play a game, you and me,
Oh, God.
until
Okay.
until Halloween, October 1st. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Every day might be a little bit tough to do it, but we try for every day, but at least once a week as we meet once a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least once a week, do something silly like this, even if it's just on the podcast, like wearing these sunglasses, like do something silly. And if you do something silly outside of recording the podcast, you have to text me about it.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yep.
if you find a silly thing to do, you have to tell me about it, and I will tell you if I find a silly thing to do.
Okay.
It's going to be a fun little game.
Yeah. How's that liquid death?
Okay. I love it. Okay. So 30 Days of Night is our movie that we did go with.
One question.
Spoilers, no spoilers. It's old enough, right?
It's old. I mean,
like what year was it?
It was when I was in high school. So,
was
or
it?
like right out of high school, 2008 probably, or
yeah.
2010.
Yeah, it sounds right. Because Josh Hartnett's in it. I was going to look up because I thought when I was watching it, I was like, man, what's Josh Hartnett been up to? Like, what's Josh Hartnett been doing?
I don't think he's been up to a whole lot.
I don't think so either. I mean, whatever. Yeah. Good for him. Maybe he done be retired or whatnot. And maybe he has a podcast. Does Josh Hartnett have a podcast? Let's invite Josh Hartnett to hang out on our podcast.
Oh, that'd be the shit. I would have so many questions for him.
Dude, we should maybe do that. Like start having like guests now and then or something.
Out to random celeb. Why not? Somebody might.
Somebody might, right? For real.
I did find one of the things, this kind of plays into spooky season.
Yeah.
I did find out that maybe a podcast to start for myself is just narrating letters back and forth from jail to interesting people. Right, people that are in jail for like murder and stuff like that.
Have we not talked about this kind of a little bit? Like I I think that would be fun.
It'd be fun. I think it'd be super hard to do a podcast based on it because I mean the chances of you getting a response are I don't know. You know what I mean?
You're not well, yeah, but if I bet you if the podcast, you know what?
But
you know what we could do is kind of maybe do it as a Patreon or I don't know. How do you want to do it? We could do it as like a mini episode, like a mini episode where like, okay, we've tried to reach out to people in prison and we could like, maybe there's other stuff that we'll morph into, but like, listeners, anyone out there listening, give us ideas, what kind of stuff, but I think that would be fun. Like write them and just see if you get a response and then read them.
Well, I mean, it's public. I mean, like how to get mail to them is public. So it
you know, we should. Do you know what we should do? No, listen. We should do this. Yeah. We should start to post like questions on our Instagram.
Yeah.
Or like like make reels. I'm gonna figure out how to do this where we ask questions and say like email us at johnnyhaleydof@gmail.com.
Yeah.
would you rather fight a bear or a crocodile? Right? Like we could just whatever. We could ask them stuff. And we could like put that question out there and just like, and we'll read your response on our podcast.
Yep.
And like people would be like, oh, cool. I'll go listen to that because they'll read my letter. Like, you know what I mean?
Would you want to do that for like a thing in October?
I would want to do that for always.
Well, I'm just saying
we just could do that. We for could fun.
Do a letter a week in October and just see if we get a response down the road.
No, like I'm gonna start thinking of questions or like things that we could ask people to like ask them to tell us a story about, and be like, we'll read it on our podcast. Like what I don't know, like have you ever seen a cryptid, a ghost, or a UFO kind of thing?
Yeah.
Write us at JonnyHaleighDof@gmail.com and we will read your responses on our podcast.
For sure.
I think that would be super fun. Let's start doing that. Come on. I'm going to start.
I'd read anything they send me. I don't care. Right? It will be read ahead of time, but I'll read it. It might be doxed, but whatever.
How do you make it a reel though? Like what would be on brand for us is what I need to figure out. Like, because people look at reels more than they look at like just regular posts, I think. So, people do that thing where they just have like a video and some stock music and like a text on it,
I mean, technically you could just we could do it on here and just cut it. You know what I mean?
Oh, Johnny boy, you're so smart.
I'm just saying, because if you're do a reel, smart. But if you just do a reel, it'll just be you. You could just cut out a frame of this. We could do it after the podcast every week.
No, we could just do it right now. And I'll just do a clip of this.
Well, yeah, I know. But like, I'm just saying we could think of a question and we could do it. We could record it after we're done doing this podcast. And then you could clip that and release it as a clip.
No, we could just, when it comes up on the podcast, we'll just do this. Johnny boy.
Well, what's the question going to be?
I think we need to ask we're in spooky season. Have you experienced spooky things? Email us at JonnyHaleighDof because it's day of fun at gmail.com. So JonnyHaleighDof@gmail.com. Have you ever seen a ghost? Have you ever had a ghost molest? Have you ever seen a spooky demon thing? Have you ever experienced a time slip? These time slip things that people, I am like so fascinated. There's like supposedly a place in England where it happens a lot. And I don't know where it is, but I want to go there.
Like Bermuda Triangle shit, like where you just disappear. And
like time slips where you're like walking down a street and suddenly you're like 60 years ago or in the 1800s or something. Okay. And like it lasts for like a couple minutes maybe. And then it stops. Like it's like a short, weird time slip that you all of a sudden see like a different slice of time in that space, whatever.
Yeah, that'd be interesting because I do listen to a lot of stuff on like YouTube and stuff like that where people send in letters to just YouTube people and they narrate it. It's no video, it's just narration.
No, for real. Okay, I'm gonna clip out these bits of the podcast or whatever, and I'll put this as like a couple minute clip on our YouTube.
Yeah.
And we can post it as reels and stuff and be like, that's our Gmail. Send us the Gmails.
Yep. For sure.
Let's do this shit, bros. We'll read your stuff out on the YouTubes and you can come watch it and comment and whatever.
Yeah.
And we will wear our awesome sunglasses.
I mean, we'll talk about certain ones, I'm sure.
Oh, no, for sure. Like we'll read your stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe it's maybe it's fake. There's no way for us to know.
It's like almost like a creepy honeydew.
Creepy pasta.
No, like creepy, like a honeydew where you tell stories, but it's like creepy.
Yeah. But we can do all kind of things.
Well, yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, I love this. I think it's a great idea. I'm excited to get people to email us and talk to people.
Sure. Anyway, but okay.
30 days of night.
30 days of night.
Okay, back to it. Back to the real stuff. Go listen to the full episode, people.
For sure. Was it too gory for you? That's kind of what I was afraid. Because it's pretty bloody fucking movie.
It's bloody. I think there's some of it that's like, okay. Honestly, for me, I was just more confused, but like after, like, okay, so like my brain contains it a little bit better after watching the whole thing and digesting it overnight. We'll put it that way. Okay. So the like when I was first watching it, the scene where because it's kind of slow build in the beginning, just a little bit, right? Like, okay, it's winter. Okay, you've got that weird, creepy dude who doesn't belong in town who comes to town. Okay, there's a little love story thing.
That's the actor I was telling you about. That's one of my favorite actors, but I can never remember his fucking name.
What? Oh, what else is he in that you like?
He's in a ton of stuff. He played. Okay. This is gonna sound really weird.
Let me look him up while you're talking about that.
But he played a mentally challenged person in Freaks and Geeks named Eli, I believe. Okay. I couldn't remember. Like he was a retarded high school kid, I guess. I don't know. He was in a movie called Alpha Dog.
Ben Foster?
Yep. He was in 310 to Yuma.
Okay.
Remember 310 to Yuma? Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that one. I'm kind of like, now that I'm looking him up, I'm remembering his face, but I don't know from what. So I'm gonna look at his IMDb. But like
you'd probably I don't know. He might have been in a show.
That's kind of interesting. You know, I'm usually really good with like facial recognition for people, and like I did not recognize him. I don't know that I've seen a lot of his movies.
He's a really good character actor. Like he plays a Western outlaw in 310 to Yuma. He's a really good in that.
Okay.
And then in Alpha Dog, he plays like, okay, I don't know. You kind of just have to watch it to understand what's going on. But basically, he plays a guy that owes somebody else a debt. That person kidnaps his brother. And then watch the movie if you want to. It's kind of that kind of story.
6 Feet Under.
6 Feet Under.
Okay, he was in the show 6 Feet Under. And he was in 22 episodes of 6 Feet Under. That was the movie that had what's his name, who's Dexter in it, the funeral home family, Michael C. Hall.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so that's why I know his face. That's kind of, man, that's been a really long time since I've watched 6 Feet Under. I should go look for that and see if that's somewhere. That would, I mean, it was a little weird, but it was good.
But did you ever watch Freaks and Geeks? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know. I remember it was, I think that, I don't know. I did not watch whatever channel it was on.
Like, okay, Freaks and Geeks, basically just go like look at what that is. And it's like Seth Rogen, James Franco, and like a bunch of people that are in like those kind of movies.
Can I say?
I think they were younger in that show. That's kind of like one of their bigger shows that kind of launched. I don't know if it launched
them or like that's how they know each other, kind of.
Yeah, before James Franco was in a million movies, and so was Seth Rogen. They were young.
I love Seth Rogen and James Franco. I love like Pineapple Express, and This Is the End.
Yeah, like Seth Rogen in Freaks and Geeks, he plays like this uptight asshole fucking student,
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a dumb.
I was gonna say I have a hard time seeing him as that character. That's interesting.
It was dumb because he was not that person at all. He just like had just a fucking like who farted look on his fucking face all
the time. Like, okay, I can kind of see though. I can see Seth Rogen doing that.
Fucking.
Okay, I don't remember.
Laugh. You ever hear any of it?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Laugh? Oh, come on! I was gonna say that wasn't recognizable.
Let me tell you. You know whose laugh I can think of in a minute is fucking Bert Kreischer. I love Bert Kreischer's laugh.
You like his laugh?
I love Bert Kreischer's laugh. Oh my god! I'm
saying Seth Rogen has a laugh that's just dumb.
I'm saying in my mind, I can't imagine or hear it. I would have to like look it up. But like in my like, but if I imagine Bert Kreischer laughing, I can totally like imagine that because
there's a lot of levels to Bert Kreischer laughing.
I know, but I love it. Like when he's like laughing so hard that he's like almost choking.
Well, and then sometimes he's laughing so hard that he's not even laughing. He's just like yelling. Like
I know. Just screaming. I know. I love it. I think it's great.
Did you see him watch the video of there was a comic that fell off a stage?
Shit, no.
Did you see that video? I'll send that to you.
Send it to me, please.
If you want to hear a Bert Kreischer laugh.
Oh, no. Oh, I love it, though.
It's basically this. It's this comic that falls off the stage like mid-joke. Like he missteps and he like falls, like just eats shit off the stage.
Okay, but listen. If you're a good comic though, you can build that into a story and like capitalize on that shit. Like, you know, tell that story.
Bert Kreischer's reaction. I'll just let you watch it.
Send it to me. I'll watch it. We'll talk about it next time. I love it.
He just laughs and says a bunch of like, he'll never be that funny.
Oh my God. Because really though.
Like, it's so funny though.
I'm sure. So like, take that and run with it, man.
Yeah, he said just says he'll never be funnier than that.
For real. Because you can't. Listen.
As long as he pursues
I am that person. I am that person that like that kind of silly slapstick type like oopsie shit. Do you not love it? I don't want to see anybody get hurt. Like I'm not jackass level like purposefully. Nothing like that. Like I'm not into that. But like the oopsie shit that's hilarious.
Yeah. Like when I'm texting on my phone and I misjudge a step and I fucking almost eat shit up. Like,
Or like when like Lucy tries to jump on the couch and kind of misses and kind of bounces off a little bit. Like, you know, it's I remember, like you want them to be okay, but it's kind of funny.
Right. I remember when I was there for that music festival and there was a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
I remember I didn't know what to do, and I just basically took your dog like this, and your dog was stiff as a board, just shaking.
No, she does not like.
And I just kind of
she doesn't do well. Yeah, I appreciate you trying though.
Well, I thought your dog was having a fucking seizure. I was like, oh my god,
she gets that like upset about like storms, even if it's just raining. Yeah. Like she just doesn't like it.
Yeah, yeah, I like it.
They feel the barometric pressure. What's that? What am I talking about? The pressure of the wind.
Barometer?
Something. Barometric pressure. I don't know. My dad used to talk about it, that dogs can sense it more than we can, and they can be sensitive to it. Which makes sense.
Maybe.
Animals, they have those instincts or whatever.
Yeah. They have a lot of I don't know, they can sense things and stuff.
Yeah.
They're supposedly they can see ghosts and stuff,
No, I really love that idea though. Like I really love the idea of like sometimes like if Lucy stops when we're like walking at the park or something and she's like staring at something, or like if I'm trying to like go ahead and she's just stopped and like won't come with me. Sometimes I like to be like, what do you sense that's here? Like, do you sense a Bigfoot? Do you sense a ghost? Do you sense like, is there something spooky here that you can tell that's here that I can't tell that's here? I like to play that game. Another game I kind of like to play with myself when I'm out at the park. Like this is all the other ladies in the world. They can go ahead and love pumpkin spice. That's fine. Let me tell you what I love about the fall. What I love about the fall is that when you're walking in the park and all the leaves and stuff are falling off of the trees and you're walking by yourself, you hear there's a lot more sort of like crunchy noises going on that make you think that maybe somebody's following you because you've consumed too much true crime. And so you start to like spook yourself a little bit, and that's fun. Yeah. Like when you terrify yourself a little bit, when you hear something fall and be like, oh my God, is somebody there behind me? Like, nope, that's just some leaves or some acorns falling. It's totally cool.
Were you doing this when you got stuck in Big Sioux? Is it?
No, that was like right after Dad's funeral, and we were just not in good headspace, and we were like, I was gonna say,
you guys for real could have became a fucking
for real. Like we could have been on 60 Minutes, like, and they died of hypothermia on the side of the river.
Yeah.
But I listen, I tied my car keys up in my hair. I waited and I found my way in the dark with no moon across the river and back up the path. I did it.
Yeah. Speaking of spooky season, those columns that we saw in Big Sioux.
Oh no, those were cool though.
That were like perfectly placed.
I mean, okay, so it's kind of like it's fun.
Little creek.
Like, so it's like stone stacking, and like I've seen people do it with like beach stones, but like these were more. I mean, we were at Devil's Gulch. They're on brand.
Yeah, sorry.
Spooky season on brand. Devil's Gulch.
Yeah, Devil's Gulch.
And they're more sort of squared kind of rocks. They're more jagged, but they were stacked, like from a big one to a smaller one, like a pyramid.
Yeah.
But then they were like
fucking time to do
right. But somebody went across that like weird little pool, like because it was in an area where there was like a pool.
Yeah.
And that like it's like a little creek that comes off the river, and there was like a space where it pools, and someone must have swam across that pool to stack rocks, like. And it was in a kind of somebody was doing some kind of ritual, something, and I say, good for you, witches. You do it.
Well, there was a slab too, a flat slab across where it like pulled up, and there was two of them on each side, like facing the river. It was fucking weird.
It was very obviously purposefully arranged, right?
Oh yeah, somebody took like a whole fucking day to do that.
No, yeah, for real.
Right. I remember that guy doing fucking Tai Chi.
Yeah.
Right. I just kept looking back. I was like waiting for him to pull out a fucking dart gun.
No, like I've seen him before since then.
Yeah.
I've seen him before since then.
Yeah, right.
Time isn't real. Fuck it. It made sense.
Education pouring out.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm from Michigan.
I was gonna say, like, don't you try to pull out all your like Ivy League horse shit over here on me, bro. Be acting like
Ivy League. Have you been to it?
I know. I'm giving you shit. So I'm saying.
You better be. I was gonna say.
Like, come on now, be playing with me like you had such a like Vanderbilt background. That whatever, bro.
I don't. I'm white trash garbage, just like everyone else.
Aren't we? Don't care. Don't care. I love it.
No, what are you gonna do?
You are what you are. I mean, listen, we can lean into it and you know, get us some Midwestern fan fun people.
When you go back home and people to ask you how's the big city, you
Lord.
Come from fucking white trash.
I can't even remember who I was talking to recently. Oh no, I think it was when I was talking to Ike. That I was like, yeah, I try to explain to people, like, I don't think you understand. When I say small town, I mean under 1,000 people. Yeah. Like, legit, there are more people shopping at your Walmart than are in the small town I grew up in right now.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
there's $100,000 being, or no, there's probably $1 million being spent in that Walmart a day. Wishick has never seen $1 million. I
mean, over the course of its entire lifespan, probably. Like for the cattle and the, you know, farmer equipment. Yeah,
that's true. That's
true. Listen, but, though. I mean,
they're not the fucking wall.
Let's small town kind of a little bit analyze, can we, a little bit of the 30 Days of Night situation. Right. Okay.
Time out.
Back
to let's do it.
No, okay.
No. Go a small town. Let's do it.
Because that's like the idea, right? Is like it's a small town and it's 80 miles from anywhere else in Alaska is the idea of this town, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's isolated. Very isolated.
That's when, like, when I texted you and said I was confused, right? I was because there was that slow build that they had, and like we're talking about the little love story that they're building into it or whatever, hinting at their, you know, whatever. Yeah. And suddenly, because you have the power goes out, and then he goes and sees the dude's head on a spike out at the power station or whatever.
Yeah, after the guy gets all arrested and shit.
And then I felt like I missed something because it jumps to where everybody's all of a sudden at the diner, right? And then you jump to everybody just being murdered to shit in the town.
Well,
like it turns into like a real
yeah.
quick, fast battle scene all of a sudden, like gunshots going off and screaming and
Oh yeah, yep. Well,
but it
okay.
was like it was so that's why I was confused, is because it was like,
Yeah,
okay,
I get it.
slow build and then big shifts without a lot of information in between, and then bloodbath.
Well, I think because technically, like the scenes you saw beforehand are only like 2 to 3 houses. You know what I mean?
No, you're not
So it's
getting
like
a lot
he
of
put his nail
information.
on that record, and then I don't know if he just sent out a signal or something like that, but he just
Well,
saying
yeah,
go.
because
You know
like
what I
when
mean?
they
Green light.
scream, it seems like that's
Yeah.
kind of like there's a communication thing
Yup.
there when they scream or whatever,
But yeah,
and then they
like
have their own language.
yeah, but like that's kind of what I got out of that scene. He's just saying, "Go for it, bitches." You know what I'm saying?
Well, but they like it in the context of how the movie is built. It's
Yep.
like I just was like, okay, this narrative is the pacing is weird, but okay.
Yep.
But then I was confused because okay, like I know willing suspension of disbelief and all that, right? And I like it's interesting the dynamics that they had of being stuck in that attic or being stuck in small
Yep.
spaces and the disagreement kind of things and the sort of power
Yeah.
struggles that happen or whatever.
Yep.
Like I get the psychological element there, but like I couldn't help my brain being like,
Yeah.
dude, okay, 30 asshole days of this and you're having
Yep.
to like sneak food. Like, where's all your
Yep.
food? How are you like? And at some point they did go to a store and it's like, okay, that's how you're doing it. And there's like the parts where they're like moving in the blizzard. And I'm just like, why
Yep.
does it work when you move in the like I had a hard time being like, yeah, these things are this like
Yeah.
this vicious and on top of shit, and you guys are still moving all around the town and staying safe, kind of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, the blizzard part, yeah, that's kind of what my thought too. But I guess the blizzard would maybe give you cover. Maybe they take shelter during a blizzard. You know, what I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that
But
could be. I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm just saying
yeah,
like I found some of those
yeah,
bits like confusing a little bit, and or like my when is everyone taking a shit, brain is
yeah,
like, that's not the bits that you put in the movie, obviously. But it's
yeah,
the things that you think about.
right. Well, I mean, okay, like in the beginning, there was that scene where everyone was getting ready to leave. They were all going to the airport. Like half the town leaves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like
No,
they're
that's
all
also
doing
true.
that.
A lot of people are not even there.
Yep. So they're all
Right.
doing that, and basically, I think well, okay, did you pay attention to the when the guy started walking towards the town? Did you
There
look
was a
out in the
ship.
water?
Yeah.
There's a ship on the water with that. So he came from the ship. So technically they're in the ship. You know what I mean? And then
See, and that's kind of
they
interesting to me too. Like,
yep,
okay, because that was part of my confusion for a while was why are they hanging out in this town looking for these people or give it like why they did their big ransack massacre on day 1.
yep.
Why are they sticking around all the way up to day 30 in this one spot? Like, why have they not just left? Like, that's why I couldn't understand. But then at the
Yep.
end, like
Yeah.
towards the end is when the leader dude is all like saying how they like, which I thought was really interesting and a fun little twist or explanation of them is that like they are vampires and it took them so
Yeah.
long to convince humans that they were just a story, that they weren't real. They couldn't leave anyone behind to tell the stories or people might start thinking they're real again. Like, so like I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And I thought like I liked that. I thought that was an interesting
Yep.
like explanation because sometimes you
Yeah.
watch movies that like they either don't give you an explanation or what's going on, or the explanation
Yep.
is like so stupid. You're like, well, that's lame.
Well, like during the part where they're all in that big place before he injects himself with that blood. If you
Yeah.
the old lady basically is saying like next time they're gonna do this town, next time they're gonna do this town.
No,
And they
right. Yeah, yeah. And
they make it
were
look like they make it look like an accident.
right
You know what I mean?
because they blew
So
they got into the pipeline and were setting the town on
yeah.
fire.
So that's one reason why after the big massacre they stuck around because they have to make sure everyone's dead.
No,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I like, but I didn't understand that until like
Yep,
towards the end when that leader guy was saying those things.
for sure. Yeah.
But
But
I
like,
did like that. Okay, here's what I gotta
yeah.
say too. That
Okay.
I like the so like the little love story stuff for a minute was like kind of cheesy and silly to me. But
Yeah.
at the very end, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. She's like the last girl standing, and now she's got like a vendetta against these things that did this to her
Yeah.
man, like because he like sacrificed himself to save her, kind of thing.
Right.
Like, so like I thought that was fun. So I haven't seen. There is a sequel, is there not?
Yeah. It's one of those bullshit movies that they show on like Sci-Fi Channel, though.
No, I like. Yeah,
It's
no, the
it's a
sequels are never good.
garbage fucking
Is
like. I
she
mean,
is
I'm not
she in
saying
it though? That chica?
that I can't remember. You'd have to look that up.
But I kind of
Um.
like that they build it. So like I like it in horror movies when they do that at the end where they leave
Yep.
that sort of like ooh, that opening for like they got away, right? The
Yep.
vampires, and like so there's that sort of rivalry vendetta, like she has to
Yeah.
get revenge, kind of like they
Yep.
when they leave that kind of open for like a sequel kind of thing. I always think that's
Yep.
fun.
Yeah, she tells Josh Hart or his character when he asks if he should go after him. She says no.
Yeah.
So but I believe in the sequel there is a woman like I so
Main
it's
character.
probably yeah so it's probably a play off of that. But there's also like it's also a completely different story. Like they're in like a building I think now. Like you have to go into like a dark building or it's like a subway or something like that. It's weird. No, I was super. One night when I came home from the bar, just shitty drunk, I watched it and it was not good. Like this, the
Well,
30 Days
first
Night
of all,
too.
the second ones never really are, right? Like that
But like,
rarely
it's so
happens.
disappointing because 30 Days a Night I thought was a fucking awesome movie. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
here's what I'm going to say. It was upsetting in the way that it should be as a slasher, right? Like it was as a gory vampire monster bloody movie. It
for sure.
accomplished it very much accomplishes the icky feels of the like there's lots of blood and gore.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. It's just always been one of my favorite vampire movies just because of the concept of it. Because
No, for sure. Like I
you know what I
love that
mean?
when they play on that in a different
Yeah.
way like that, you
And
know.
it's like they're not even they're feeding to yes, they're feeding, but are they necessarily feeding to stay alive? That's
I
kind of
don't
one
think
question.
so. And it's interesting. Like
You know,
the one of the things
he's
that I
waiting
thought
there.
was interesting is like the leader guy sort of
Yep.
cult aspect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's very
Like,
culty. Yeah.
yeah, like not just give the vampire icky feels,
Yeah.
right? But like very much culty feels, very much like, yeah, like I got that like that vibe on top of the monster
Yeah.
vibe. Cause usually, let me tell you, cause I'm gonna say this like the Netflix version of Dracula, that's like only 3 episodes. I think I've talked to you about it before.
Yeah. Yeah. He talked to me last episode, I think, about it. I didn't even
Yeah.
know anything about it.
I it's kind of the same thing where it's like a sort of different take on the Dracula perspective, but
Yeah.
he's charming in this one. He's like educated and, worldly,
Yeah.
and like it's got some of that, vampire charm thing to it. So watching like that kind of gore, because there is some in there, is
Yeah.
different. Like the vibe is different to that because there's a certain part of me that's like, oh, but he's interesting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
For sure. He's not just a
and
vamp.
if
Like,
I'm
yeah.
sure there's some psychologists who would have a hell of a time with whatever that says about me, that like, sure, he's just murdering people, but he's charming as hell.
But what you're saying holds a lot of truth because like they all have their own little personalities.
No,
The
yeah.
vampire. Like the ones
Yeah.
that have dialogue or have scenes by themselves, you can tell like they just kind of have their own little mannerisms, their own little
Well, but
personality.
that's what I'm saying too, of like the vibes are ickier in the vampire mode with 30
Yeah,
Days of Night because of that cult vibe. Because like, okay, that like there's like the one female vampire that's always kind of like hanging out
like
with the main guy,
chick.
right? Like like there's a very sort of like icky cult leader master servant vibe going on, right? That's just like,
well,
so there's psychological elements to it as well as the monster thing that I do like.
Yep. And then one weird aspect of vampire movie is they're not doing this to get numbers. They don't want to turn people.
That was interesting too. Like they don't want any extras. But again, that's kind of like plays into the cult vibe, right? Of like no outsiders sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know? Like so there's like that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, and then like the movie itself, like towards the end when he turns, and then there's that big like fight at the end. It's like it that's where it kind of became a little cheesy, but the fight itself.
Okay, but listen, here's the thing.
That was awesome.
We have such a thing in our culture of that fight scene where it's like everyone else is standing back and watching the big boss fight kind of situation.
Yeah.
Like that's where it becomes a little cheesy because like they did have even in the 30 Days a Night like other people that you see them surround and torture all together, right? Like that one girl that they used as bait.
Yeah, that's another aspect. They use bait. They
like they kept certain humans as and out. Like so again, very psychological on top of the gore, like very psychological, purposeful, torment, upset kind of vibes from the cult leader guy.
It's also kind of like when you think about it this way, it's also kind of like that classic human against human fight, but you're fighting a higher like basically a humanoid with a higher ability than you know what I mean, kind of thing. Like
I was trying to understand that a little bit. So do they also
they have super strength, they can resist cold, well,
and
jump like 15 fucking feet, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're fast. See, that's kind of an interesting thing too, is they like as monsters or whatever. Because like classic sort of vampires, is that I don't, I wonder in the lore and the fiction of vampire storytelling, when did they become super fast? Do you know what I mean?
Like, well, I mean, there's the idea I want to say like white zombie, like recorded history.
Like I know a lot of the historical stuff of like there's like that's a whole other episode, yo. Like I have a whole book that's called Vampires, Death, and what is it? Vampires, Zombies, and Death. It's like all these different stories of like undead, like throughout history and where it all kind of comes from. Like, no, it's super interesting stuff.
But I can't remember if it was the Picts or the Celts that they used to bury people. They used to bury people with rocks in their mouth.
Yes. Okay. But like because that was something
that came back alive.
There are multiple that they couldn't bite because they would. So, but there's different cultures too. So there's that thing, but I can't remember if it's Hungarian, maybe. It's been a while since I've read that book. Maybe I'll go. I think I might have given that book away. Damn it to hell. Maybe I'll get it on Audible and I'll listen to it. But like, donate to our Patreon so that I can buy some Audible books and learn some fun actual information that I can share. No, but like there's other cultures that would put food in their mouths, like actual food, so that like they had something to eat and they wouldn't. No, so they would have something to eat if they did come become undead. They wouldn't come back and try to eat people. And there's some really very interesting. It's interesting because it's like across cultures, there's these themes that like even though these societies didn't necessarily interact with each other geographically speaking, they had a lot of similar ideas about like undead creatures or these different kind of lore or stories.
Yeah, like I want to say it was the Picts that did the rock and the muff because
That sounds right.
you can say the Celts, but the Celts is a broad unity of fucking
Do you know
tribes.
what I
You know what I
really
mean?
have
So
been?
it's like
I'm
Celts is
so
the pretty
about this.
broad. Yeah. What?
Can we also manifest Jonny Haleigh Day of Fun trip to Scotland? I really want to go to Scotland.
I would totally go. We could go.
Let's
We could
fucking
go. I
dude.
did that.
I would
That
full on
Scotland title.
history. Yeah.
I did that Scotland titles thing for my mom and your dad.
Yeah.
I made them a sir and lady.
Yeah.
So
no, I love
we
it.
could go visit her one by one.
Their plot of land. We absolutely should.
It's on some reserve. When
No,
you
for
pay for
real.
that, they give you a 1 foot by one, well, like a 1 square foot plot of land.
Yeah,
And
I love it.
And the cool thing about that is too, I think they plant a tree with every purchase, so that's also a cool thing.
Oh, I love that.
I think they do. I think it's something like that. They plant a tree,
but
or
like
they do something
because that's
it.
part of what they're doing is like conservationism.
Yeah.
So when you buy that land becomes a part of like you're saving that you're saving that land because you're a part of the conservation consortium, whatever that owns it.
Yeah, I can't remember if they do. I think they do it in the plot of land you buy. They'll plant a tree in it.
I love that. I think that's cool.
I'm not sure if it's that way or that, I can't remember much about it.
I love it. Whatever. You know what? Listen, we're gonna go to Scotland. We're gonna have Jonny Haleigh Day of Fun Scotland, and we're gonna totally do like a bunch of like historical tours of Scotland.
Right.
Because
I want to go all over the Isles, though. I want to go to Ireland. I want to go to fucking England.
Oh no, I'm with you on that. 100% European tour.
You know what I mean?
Bing bang bop. While you're there, do them all.
Even listen to the British Isles. I'd be happy.
Germany, Italy, France, hit them all. Like
Germany would be cool. France, I don't know, like certain regions of France.
You gotta hit up. Okay, listen, I need to see Paris.
I get it.
Right, you just gotta go because you gotta go. Yeah. But I also would very much like to see like bitty little French town. You know,
okay, yeah.
They probably would be super hating on like American chica or whatever, which is fine. Right.
I would go to Paris and little towns and regions to eat like different cuisines.
100%. Food.
I would want to go to Germany
tour of all the countries.
Well, I would want to go to Germany too, just because I know like the region and the town that my family's originally from.
Oh, that would be cool.
I could technically. I can't remember if this is the region. One of them.
I want to check out the Black Forest area.
Right, like one of them's the town and one of them's the region. It's Württemberg, Baden. That's where my family's from.
We should go check it out. Like that would be cool. That would be fun to do some. I never was able to track like the Overseths back to Norway.
Like Norwegian, yeah.
Yeah, but it would be cool to like do ancestry work or whatever and find that and go visit those places again.
Well, the only reason I
donate to our Patreon, links below.
Well, the only reason I know that is because at my grandpa's funeral, they had a little family history on the back of the brochure.
Oh,
and
it
was like back to when we were still in Germany.
No, but that is fun when you find like those old like family histories. Yeah, that like those are cool. I think those are super fun.
Yeah. I think somebody traced it back a pretty long way. Like I think it was like pre-1700s. Like in the 1600s, something like
that. That's really cool. See, because like that's the thing.
The beginning of the 17th century.
Like both sides of my family, like my mom's side and my dad's side, both like they are far. Like that's kind of why it was hard to get records from back in like Germany and like Norway because they're that far back. Like, I think on the Overseth side, we're like 6th generation. Like they all came over in the whole, early, like maybe like 1840s for like just coming to buy up the farming land, doing the farming thing. Like they all came here to be farmers, basically.
Yeah, that's what my family, I think, always was. I think we were just always farmers. And then on the back of that,
well, that's what like that's a lot of the Midwest here where we're from.
Sure. I mean,
is that's where the immigrants came.
That's why we moved to this region because we could farm it.
Right.
Because we're from. Well, my family. We're from that region, and then I think we fled to Odessa, Ukraine.
Oh, okay. Were you
what's that?
Were you doing naughty things and you had to be fleeing the country?
I can't remember why they did it. There was a lot of people in this area, like in North Dakota.
Yeah.
That's
No,
where you've heard the
it's
thing
the
German
Germans
from
from
Russia.
Russia thing. Okay. No, I know.
That's where it
Okay, I
comes
know a
from.
little bit about this. I can't remember all the
I
details.
think it
Someone
was
explained
religious
it.
persecution. I think it was something to do with
No,
religious
some of it
persecution.
was so the Germans from Russia thing was that Russia had some kind of deal going on where they were like letting immigrants come and farm plots of land. I
Yep.
don't remember what it was that happened, but basically the immigrants came over and the Russian
Yep.
government started to fuck them over. And so they left Germany and came to America to farm instead because of whatever was happening with I don't remember the details, but no,
Yep.
I know what you're
Well,
talking about, Germans from Russia.
this is what happened. Like the families
This is
would
what
move
happened
to.
because Johnny was there.
No, I wasn't there. No. According to the pamphlet, according to
According
my
to the
family,
pamphlet.
just
Okay.
my family,
My family's
like
story is
pretty much,
no,
like I think they fled Germany for some kind of religious persecution,
I'm sure there was that too. Cause like
and
was
then
that the time of like the Martin Luther stuff? When was that?
I think it was something to do with like
Because we
that,
got a
or
lot of
like it
Lutheran
might have
churches
even
around
been
here.
polygamy. Who knows? You know what I mean? I don't, and I'm not saying polygamy. That was a joke.
Which
But
one?
I said it might even have been polygamy. Who knows?
A polygamy. Yeah, who knows what it was?
But yeah, who
They
knows? It
don't.
might have been.
They're not
But
telling that story.
but yeah, we basically farmed Odessa. We farmed the Odessa region in Ukraine
Okay.
until Stalin well, my family moved here. I think in
Wait,
the
Stalin. So your family's not been
hold
there
on,
for
no,
that
no,
long?
no, no, nope. My family moved here in the early 1900s or late 1800s because my grandpa was born in America in 1911. So
So my
they came
dad's mom
a
was
good
born in
chunk before that.
1929.
Yep. So
So,
they came
but
a
she
good.
was.
What's that?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. Like, so like that was kind of when. So like my dad's dad would have been born. This is such inside baseball. I don't know if anybody's gonna give a
Yeah.
shit. Who cares? Well, bad or whatever. But
Well, I'm
like
just like,
my
yeah,
dad, his so my dad's dad then would have been born around, I think he was maybe 28 or something.
yeah,
But he was like one, two, three, four. Would he have been fourth generation? So we're like fifth, sixth. Yeah, because we're like
yeah,
sixth generation. So they were here. I do. I want to say like back in the 1840s. Like,
yeah,
so like on my dad's side, I think on my grandma's side, it goes back further on
yeah.
my mom's side, I should say.
But like, why I was bringing Stalin into the thing because like my family was here a good bit before this. So we were already in America.
Yeah.
But Stalin basically, when he became the leader of Russia or whatever, the USSR, whatever it was. But
Back in the
when they when they he
USSR.
be when he got when he got control of Ukraine,
Yeah.
he basically kicked all the German people, the people of German ethnicity out, and then they stole their farms through collective farming. But
Yeah. Okay.
people had a choice to leave. People left, but the people that didn't leave, they didn't know what was going to happen to them. They were sent to gulags.
Yeah. That fucking
So it's a bit of a dark history, but like if you didn't leave when he told you you had a chance, he sent you to
I mean,
gulag.
listen, ain't
You
it
were
all
leaving
dark
either way.
history in the
Well,
human annals? We are
yep,
it's all a bit messed up and
yeah. But that was the region that my family fled to from Germany, and then from there came
see, I
to
would really like to though
this
find
area,
out like
Zealand,
about
I believe.
Norway and Germany where my family would be from. Like I would like to figure out where that would be and go visit.
Oh, like it was in depth. It had names when they were born. It was crazy.
Yeah, no, I love that though. That's really cool.
A lot of like, so you married this person, and then
Yeah,
they had
yeah,
this
no.
kid,
See, but I like that
like
about the
trees and.
okay, no, okay. Here's the story.
Okay.
Okay. Hi. Yeah, here's a story. We're gonna make this part
Why
make this
not?
a
Let's
little more
do it.
interesting for everybody else since
Why
we're
not?
no, okay. So I was doing ancestry research at one point as like it was a birthday thing I was doing for my dad. So this would have been like, I don't know, maybe this could have been 10 years ago already. But like, so I was on Ancestry doing stuff or whatever, putting stuff together for the website for Dad to go check out. And I was looking at the family tree. Somewhere in our family tree of cousins, like up one level from my dad's dad and over and down cousins kind of thing, like very distant. But I was looking up like articles and like stuff that was like on Ancestry, and one of the links went to a story about a distant cousin of mine on the Overseth side that was murdered like within the last, like it was within like a year of when I looked up this information. So sometime in the last decade, like whenever I was looking it up, like within a year, had been murdered in the driveway of his house because he was confronting a dude that was like having an affair with his wife / stalking his wife, and was like leaving presents and shit up for her on the doorstep or whatever. And he went out to confront him, and the dude shot him dead in his driveway. And I was like, dude, that is some crazy true crime synchronicity that I'm doing this like Ancestry stuff. And I go find this story of like, holy shit, my distant relative was just recently murdered.
Right. That's desperation right there.
Oh my God. Shit. Is that like, please and thank you no to that kind of drama? Like, my God, I don't think so very much.
Right.
This is the kind of thing I get concerned about with you and all your Tinder excursions. Let me tell you what. Don't be getting yourself blown away by some crazy person.
Like I said, I'm like Austin Powers. I like to live dangerously.
You go right ahead. You have a good time with that.
I do. But
okay.
But like one thing about 30 Days of Night that I appreciated was the blizzard scenes. People don't understand. There's fucking wicked ass blizzards around here. Like in North Dakota, that is a blizzard.
No, and you know what I kind of thought was interesting.
Like, you're fucking dead if you get caught in that thing.
No, like I thought that was interesting though, the way that like they kind of slowed down. Like it was not slow-mo necessarily, but it was a little bit slowed down.
When they were walking.
And, like, but and like the soundtrack, like they sort of like dull the sound at that time in a way, like that it's like the way that they create the atmosphere of the blizzard and them walking through, like I did like that. Like there's something about throughout that whole movie, really there is something about the sound mixing and the way that they like sometimes would have juxtaposition kind of sound, but then sometimes would like sort of mute or dull the sound of like dialogue and screaming and stuff, you know, and you'd have that sort of almost in some, you know, sometimes in like cartoons or whatever, when a bomb goes off and then people's ears are ringing or whatever.
Yeah.
Like almost kind of like that.
I do know what you mean, because that aerial shot of when they're shooting shotguns and shit, it's almost like a deafening. I get that. And
it's like you are that far above it and the sound is muffled kind of. Yes.
Yeah.
That is really, I think that's actually really like when you put it that way of distance, I really like that because it gives you that sense of how isolated they are. Like they're so far away. There's this horrendous, terrible noise happening inside their town. No one can hear any of it. I really like that. Like now that I look at it that way, like that's really cool the way they built that to like intensify the isolated feeling. Like very well done, 30 Days of Night. I'm kind of coming around. I'm kind of coming around.
Well, I like I said, I appreciate that movie for more than just a vampire movie. It's a good fucking movie. But
no, like they put, you know, purposeful elements in there.
Well, and then to that also, like the sounds and stuff, the attention to sound. I like the shades of the movie. There's not a lot of bright shades to it. It's a very dull movie. You know what I mean?
Because you're in.
Well, it's night, but even when the sun's out, it's a very grayed out.
No, because all it is snow, and we know what that looked like.
Well, no. Yeah, well, for sure. But like even when the guy's walking up to the town, there's almost like a weird dreary aspect to it, like a cloud cover. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
even though it's sunlight, it's not fucking really crazy bright. I like that because the first sunlight you see technically is when the sun rises at the end. I like that.
No, this like I do like, yeah, that's true. Like the colors are all sort of muted, almost like there's, like a blue filter tone kind of.
That's such a cool. It's so cool because it's muted all the way to the end. It's fucking
But I
crazy.
like that. So that's something that I
It's like
actually really
cloud
like
cover. It's
about.
such a cool. Yeah.
Have you ever watched Hellier? The Hellier series? It's a paranormal investigation team. I think they might have a new
You
season coming
told me
out.
about it. Hey, maybe we'll do that. We'll watch it
You
here.
gotta watch that for sure. But like
All right. All right.
it's a longer series. There, I mean, not longer. It's but like it's you follow this whole journey of this paranormal investigation situation, right? And it's just like I love the sort of path it takes, and there's these friends just following all these synchronicities and like I just think it's fun. But like
Yeah.
their cinematographer editor person that does like or people, I think there's two of them, like
Mhm.
but like I think it's Carl Pfeiffer is the one who does it. Like it all does have that sort of
Mhm.
blue filter. Like
Yo.
there's a certain aesthetic to the whole thing, the way that it's
Yep.
filmed, that it's like it's not just super interesting to watch them do the investigation, but it's like really
Right.
beautifully put together. They had like the production
Yeah.
value they have
Mhm.
like with the music and their intro. It's like
Yeah.
mwah.
That's why the sequel pissed me off because this one there was a lot of thought into this movie, but this one
They're
that
like
sequel
this
sucked.
was just a cash grab.
It was
Yeah.
just bastardized. It was just
That
like
happens
that,
a lot
like
though.
every fucking remake. It's like, come on.
Oh no, I'm tired of remakes too. Did we talk
Yeah,
about this? I think we had this conversation. I think we had old auntie and uncle
for sure.
corner
Yeah,
where we
for sure.
bitched about nobody
For sure.
making anything new.
Right. One
It's true
movie,
though.
one movie also that I appreciate that really gloomy aspect too, where it's not a lot of light at all. It's like a
Mhm.
lot of cloud cover, and like the only light you get is from like bulbs and unnatural light. It's fucking rad. Is Prisoners. Have you ever seen Prisoners?
No, I don't know that one.
Watch Prisoners. Like when we're done with spooky season, we'll do a Prisoners episode. Wait for it. We'll do it.
Okay, we'll do it.
Prisoners.
You know what I'm thinking of when I think of like the cinematography of like spooky season movies that I love right now though is like, Sleepy Hollow.
I love Sleepy Hollow. Like,
Do you
yeah,
not
that's
love
very.
Sleepy Hollow?
Well, I like how Sleepy Hollow is. I like that it's very dark. It's very gloomy. It's
Here's what I really like though is that it's
yeah,
very sharp contrast. Like they still have
yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that like there's
It's
that
like a
cardinal.
fog,
They
so
have
you
that
see it.
cardinal that's like that sharp red contrast
Yep.
every once in a
Ooh,
while.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Oh,
Yep.
I
I like
love
that
Sleepy
stuff.
Hollow.
Yep. I like stuff like that where there's only one color.
Very
It's
monochromatic, very,
like
very. I know what you're saying, like, but that's part of what I love about spooky season. I
yeah,
like the sort of grayness or whatever that,
right.
I
Well, what?
love Sleepy Hollow. I love
Yeah,
I have to
Sleepy
go
Hollow is
watch that one
good.
again. Like that's such a good one.
Yeah,
Such a classic.
yeah. Well, you get to pick the movie this week, so or this coming week. So you got to pick something.
Man,
I don't know.
we could watch
I was
Sleepy
gonna say,
Hollow and talk Sleepy
well, is
Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow really a horror film or like a? Well, I mean, it is spooky.
It's spooky
It is.
season.
It is. Well, it is the
I think
Headless
listen,
Horseman.
I think if it fits into
Technically, it is.
this
It is a
season
horror.
vibes, because
It
Hocus
is a
Pocus
horror
isn't
movie.
isn't horror, but we could totally watch Hocus Pocus as a spooky
Well, I'm
season.
just saying, like the Headless Horseman was a horror aspect, so it is a horror movie.
Yeah, it's a spooka.
Yeah,
There's
we can
some
watch that.
gore.
I'd be down for that. We
I
can do
know
that.
I own it on Amazon, so look and see if you can
I'll
get it.
find it. Yeah, I was gonna say I have Amazon. I'll find it. Like
Yeah,
it couldn't be that. Sleepy Hollow. Yeah, it's been a while since I watched it, but I remember a lot of it.
I love Sleepy Hollow. I would
Yeah,
like to
Sleepy
rewatch
Hollow
it
is good.
again though, because like I like when you rewatch it and you see like once you because you kind of know like I like it when you rewatch something and you know the end so you can spot the little foreshadowing elements and the little sort of
You're right.
nuances and the little tiny things that they add in, right? Like I love that stuff.
Yeah, and then at the end, he
What?
gets his head. He at the end, the Headless Horseman gets his head, and then you
Oh,
see
I
the
love that
actor.
whole the transition
Yeah,
thing that they do. And not who is it? Christopher Walken with his
Christopher
sharpened
Walken.
teeth. Oh, so good. So
So
good.
funny.
Oh,
It's like,
I
oh,
love
it's
it.
so funny though. I laughed so hard the first time. Like because when I was a
That's who
kid, I
it
never.
was.
Well, when I was a kid, I never recognized it. Like when I was older, I laughed so fucking hard the first time I
Like, hey,
recognized
that's Chris Walken.
I was like, what the fuck?
What's up, bro? I
Yeah.
love you in Weapon of Choice music video.
Shit.
Fucking dance through that hotel. I love it.
Right. But yeah, there's a lot of weird fucking creepy scenes in Sleepy Hollow. We can do that.
Let's do Sleepy Hollow. Let's for next week, Sleepy Hollow. Well,
All right.
fuck yeah, I love it. I think I've come full circle and I enjoy 30 Days of Night. I appreciate the elements they put in there. I'm with it. I'm with you on it.
That's what I was hoping. Like I was hoping you'd give it a chance more than it was just a horror gore film.
More than just the gore, yeah.
Because there's a lot of thought in that movie. Like
there's a lot of psychological stuff going on. There's a lot of like a Quiet Place, vibes. Pre-Quiet Place, obviously.
Right. I was gonna say one more scene.
Yeah, what?
One more scene. When the guy blows himself up in the tavern.
So sad though, because I like that dude.
But it's such a good scene the way it's filmed because it has a ringing from like the explosion,
off. Yeah.
And then it had like slow motion, like people like going like this, and then like people flying out the windows and shit. There's a lot of thought going into that scene.
Sad though, because I like that bro dude.
Like, I get it, you like him, but I mean they're all gonna die eventually.
I mean, we all are. This is true.
But just the way that scene is filmed, like to say like the sound is there's a lot of thought going into the sound of it because it's like a deafening sound, like the bomb went off right next to your ear.
But again, also with just the colors of like I like that look too when you have that sort of all the muted colors and then the flames against all the muted colors, and then like at the end when they light the oil on fire, the same thing, like.
Right.
How everything kind of becomes a little sort of orange in the,
some of the light of the flames. Some of the scenes to me, like when you see the vampires, some of the scenes to me look almost like they're inspired by what's the Nightmare movie?
Tim Burton, Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah. Because look at some of the vampires, like when there's like a lit background or when they're coming into
they've got like the high shadow.
It's got like that weird like
that slanty feeling.
Yeah. It gives me kind of a
you know where that comes from is the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Shit, I wonder if let's go look that up and watch that too on YouTube. I'm gonna try to find that.
All right, write it down.
It's called the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. It's from I want to say like 1931. It might even be earlier than that. I'm gonna fucking look it up right now. This is okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just be pretentious.
Cabinet of what?
Of Dr. Caligari. I'm gonna go ahead and be I'm gonna go ahead and be pretentious film school Haleigh. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Right. 1920 is when it's from.
Okay.
It's a silent film, but the way that it's filmed and the sets that they have. Like, if you look at that, like, you can see where Tim Burton got his very slanty, high contrast lighting shadow sort of situation. Like, go check it out.
I'll check it out.
Let's watch that. It's short. It's like short. I don't even know if it's a half hour.
I've watched movies from that era. They're usually only about a half hour. So
but I love that shit. Oh,
some of it's cool. Like, I don't know. Like, I think I always kind of thought about getting into like film writing and stuff like that. I thought about that.
Script writing
for that or something like that. But then I was like, I don't know. I don't think I appreciate old film as much as I should. You know what I mean? Like,
check it out. Like some of that stuff is like really it is fascinating. It's so cool to look at the things and the things they were able to create before we had Nosferatu is fabulous. Like the things oh man, we gotta. And
I was gonna name my band Nosferatu, and I was really pissed off to find out there was a band already named Nosferatu.
No, of course there is, right?
Every fucking name you think of.
I know. You gotta look at. I know. I get you. I'm with it. Yeah. But anyway, yes, let's watch Sleepy Hollow and watch the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. It's super cool fun. Let's chat about that next time. Yeah. And we thank everyone for chilling out, hanging out, enjoying the good spooky vibes. Let's put some clips on the YouTubes and tell people to email, talk to us, and be fun. I think I'm gonna like forever wear sunglasses when we record.
I was gonna say now. I got a pretty good rotation. I got I think 4 pairs. So
I don't know if I have a rotation. It might be these grandma glasses, but I'm digging it. So like,
I have to fucking get prescription all the time, so I can't.
So you have, I get you.
So it's like I got 4 pairs.
I got you. I'm with it.
I can't just go to the Holiday and buy glasses. It sucks.
Oh, I can just order them off of Amazon. I'd be sorry. I'm sorry,
you
bro.
Gas station and buy them. I can't. I gotta fucking put thought into these and order them from fucking Zenny.
You know, but that's kind of great because that means you put thought into purple glasses, and I applaud you for that.
Oh, I love them. Yeah, they're purple gradient, so they.
No, I see that, and they're like very cool. Right. I'm about it.
I was gonna get the boring fucking. I was gonna get the brown ones, like the old police glasses, because these are like old police aviators. Yeah. I was gonna get the brown gradient, but I was like, I saw purple. I was like, fucking right. I'm
get the purple. No, I'm with that.
I can't. I'm gonna let you solve this once and for all.
What?
I don't know what to name these. These are either my Princes or my Eltons.
Ooh,
which ones are they?
Listen, I love Elton. I was just jamming out to Take Me to the Pilot as I was driving home from Walking Lucy.
Right.
Legit.
I love Elton John too.
I love him, but I gotta go with Prince.
Okay,
for the purple, I gotta go with Prince.
I know, but like Elton John or Prince, that's a hard decision.
Listen, here's what I'm gonna say. Donate to our Patreon so Johnny can buy more prescription glasses. These ones will be your Prince ones, but you need to get like some sunset kind of looking ones. Those would be your Eltons. Like if they had like very sort of like pinky coral orange, like sunset vibes.
Next week I'll wear a pair that I got. They're aviator inspired, but they're all plastic and they look like Mad Max fucking goggles. I love them.
Oh, there you go. Very cool. I like it.
I think the one I was gonna say, I sent a picture to my friend when I got them. And I was like, "These glasses look like I'm gonna steal your Bible in an apocalyptic world."
I love it.
Like the Book of Eli.
I can't wait to see it. Mine make me look like I am trying to be a gray with giant big alien eyes, and I'm about it. That's on brand for me.
Have you seen the Book of Eli?
I have not. That's another one.
God damn.
You know, we can.
It's not a spooky movie, but
we can do as many movie reviews of seasonal whatevers as we want. It's our podcast.
You have no idea how jealous I am that you have never seen Book of Eli. I would love to watch that movie for the first time again. It's great.
You know what I feel like that about is
Washington, right?
Shawshank Redemption. I feel that way about Shawshank Redemption. Like I would love.
I'll watch Shawshank anytime it's on. I love it.
100%. 100%.
And Dufresne.
But would you not love to be able to like zap your memory so that you forget all of like Shawshank Redemption, especially the ending, so that you can like be surprised at the end, you know? Yep. Like, because I love that.
I think, okay.
Like the whole element of like, they think, again, spoilers. If you haven't seen Shawshank Redemption, what are you doing with your life? I mean, honestly, but like at the end, when they all think that he's going to hang himself and then he doesn't come out of his cell and you're like, oh, he did it. Like, but then he's not there. It's like, I would love to like forget that that's the thing. And like, you know, again, Shawshank Redemption is one of those movies that I rewatch and I see the little lead up elements and the nuances and the little things.
It's a great movie.
It's a fucking great movie.
Like when you pay attention to like, it's really good. My favorite scene is when they're reading Red's note as he's committing suicide.
Oh, is that not an iconic scene? 100%.
It's such a great scene.
There are so many times I have said in my head to myself, the world went and got itself in a big damn hurry.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because like, Red. I don't know, like scenes like that made me want to get into filmmaking. Like I wanted to get into filmmaking. I wanted to be a director, but
speak it into the universe, Johnny. Let's you and me, Johnny. Fuck it. You and me, our podcast is going to pop off. Everybody get on our goddamn Patreon and we're going to make our own movie. We're going to make my bunnies. We're going to make my Killer Bunnies movie.
For sure. But that's kind of why I wanted to get into like short story writing, just to see what I can come up with.
Do it. Write some short stories. I'll write some short stories. We can read some of our stories. Yeah, we could read some. Blah, 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 blah. Yes. Yes. For sure. To what you're saying.
But okay. I also wrote down Prisoners because Prisoners, it's not that old, but it's such a good fucking movie.
It's a movie or a TV show?
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's got Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Grant, I think.
Hugh Grant. Okay.
Or Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Okay. It's got him, Jake Gyllenhaal, and then it's got the dude from, is it Atlanta? Have you ever seen Atlanta?
No, I was like, like the dude from Atlanta. There's a lot of actors from Atlanta, I bet. I was like, and how do you know where he's from? Never mind.
You have your computer in front of you?
Yeah, no, I'm on. That's what we're on, bro.
But you will notice the guy that I'm talking about, the black dude that I'm talking about, because he's in a ton of shit.
Prisoners.
And then it's got the dude that played the Riddler in the new
Terrence Howard.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he's in a lot of shit.
Yeah, he's in it. And then who else is fucking in it? There's a bunch of it's a great
Iron
movie.
Man.
It's a movie that I think I thought it was fucking great. It was just the way the story was portrayed was really good.
I mean, you know what? Let's put it on the list.
You don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, you have no clue.
Let's put it on the list of like, until further notice, Jonny and Haleigh will be talking about movies and TV that we're watching together and enjoying.
It's a good subject to have. I mean, music and movies.
Music, movies, and TV is like, that's where I want my life to be.
We could review albums. Listen to an album.
Dude, you know, that would be fun too. Or like albums. Aisha and I. This is going to get to be a long episode of nonsense. I don't give a shit.
It's all good, whatever.
I think it's all been really great content. I can't wait to re-listen to it and not edit anything out.
For sure.
Because fuck it. But anyway. No, Aisha and I were just we were listening to, because we talked about Presidents of the United States of America, that album that you like. We were listening to that and we're like, yeah, man.
Let's do it.
Like, it's pretty bitchin'.
Dude, it's top 4 albums I've ever heard in my life. It is such
let's add this to the thing.
Okay.
You do Presidents of the United States of America.
Yep.
And like Elva by Unwritten Law for me. Let's do that this week. Let's listen to both of those.
And then which one?
Elva, ELVA. It's called Elva.
ELVA. Okay.
And it's by Unwritten Law. They're on Spotify. It's on Spotify.
Unwritten Law. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, because I can jam to that when I'm working.
Yeah, for sure. No, let's do that.
We're both gonna review just both albums.
Well, just listen to both of them.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, we're just gonna review both of them. Cool.
Yeah, let's talk about those and let's watch Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow, got it.
Let's make this our life, Jonny boy. Thank you everyone so much for listening. Please go donate to our Patreon, patreon.com/Jonny Haleigh DOF. Do email us at JonnyHaleighDOF@gmail.com. Check out all of our links below and get on our TikToks and shit. We're going to start posting more questions and reels because we want to hear from you, the listener, when we want to let's just rock and roll our podcast shit, Jonny boy.
I was going to say, don't mind me while I drink some more liquid death.
I killed my liquid death a while ago. Partially we need to get the fuck out of here because I need more beverages. I totally I sucked this thing down. It's so good. It's rock and roll. But I've been Haleigh.
And I've been Jonny.
And this has been Jonny Haleigh Day of Fun. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I'm so excited for our next episode. Stay tuned. It's going to be rock and roll.
For sure.
Peace.
Peace.